everybody! So I had to put on the blue lipstick today because I just got back from seeing Smurfs: The Lost Village and I'm being very Smurf-tacular. So what do I think of the latest Smurfs movie? So let me give you some background. I did end up seeing the original Smurfs films and with live action, and they are horrible. I hate them. I find them so lazy, so lame. I don't think any of the humor works, and I just think the literally constant product placement is just so cynical and awful. I just think those movies are super cynical. I don't think anybody really tried to do anything creative or interesting or anything like that. I've also seen the Smurfs Christmas Carol for my Scrooge series that I did on my blog, and that it starts out in animation and then goes to the CG. It starts out in 2D animation and then goes to CG, and I liked the traditional animation way better. Because in that original design of the Smurfs, I felt like they all looked kind of old and crinkly and it was just off-putting to me. I never watched the show or read the comic as a kid, so this was not something I have nostalgia for. I went into this actually feeling pretty impressed with the trailers. I thought that they looked the story looked kind of lame, but the visuals really impressed me, and so I was feeling pretty positive. There's not much to feel that positive this year, so I'm reaching with some of these films. And I walked out kind of feeling that same way. Like, I have some story issues, I have some things, but overall, it's an entertaining movie. I think that you take your kids, I think they'll have a good time at this movie. I think they'll like it, and they really tried hard. It's kind of like with the Power Rangers movie. Like, I do respect when I watch something and I feel like these people tried their darndest to make a good Smurfs movie. And I really feel like that's true. And, you know, they could have taken shortcuts, but they went the extra mile to make it look so beautiful. And, I mean, just honestly, my mouth was agape at some of this animation. It was so pretty. And, and just, I don't know, it was just very impressive. Like, it's definitely, without a doubt, the best animation that Sony has ever done. There's no question in my mind about that at all. And so, you know, good on them. Way to go. More positives about the film is I did feel like it had an adequate story. Like, it's not a great story. Like, I have some issues with it, but it's fine. It's certainly not as insulting as the live action films. It's an adventure story, and my other positive is I really did like Rainn Wilson as Gargamel. I thought that he was a very good vocal performer and he brought a lot to the role. So those are some of my positives. The main thing is just this stunning animation that I really loved. And there were some nice lessons, some nice things like the kids will take away from it. So that's really good. My negatives of the film is it's sort of inherent to Smurfs as a whole. Smurfs, it's kind of like giving the dwarfs, the Seven Dwarfs, their own movie. Seven Dwarfs, you have Happy and Sneezy, and, you know, where these characters are just defined by one attribute. Well, in the Smurfs, you have that, but like a billion. So you have one character that their whole attribute is literally eating a table. And so it just makes for kind of boring characters because they're just sort of defined by, oh, I'm clumsy, I'm grumpy, you know, kind of a thing. And you really just sort of focus on 4 characters, maybe 5, that you have Smurfette, you have Hefty, Clumsy, and Brainy are sort of the 4 characters that end up going on the adventure, and then a little bit with Papa Smurf. And I don't know, I just feel like those kind of labels sort of hurt the character a little bit in sort of developing and growing. And I did like, though, that Hefty was kind of a little bit of a refreshing character for a character like sort of a hefty jock to kind of have a sweet side to him. I thought it was kind of nice. Like, you don't see that often. I don't know, some of the other weird parts of the movie is this weird sort of gender dynamic of Smurfs as a whole, and this gets exemplified a million times because Smurfette is the only female Smurf in Smurf Village, And I don't know, I wish they hadn't designed her with high heels. And I don't know, just sort of the things that this movie thinks are feminine and the things that it thinks aren't feminine sometimes make me a little uncomfortable. But that's kind of the franchise. Like, what are you gonna do, I guess? I don't know. But I think that's stuff that will go over almost every kid's head. You know, it's just me being sort of the adult in the room, like, I don't really like that. I didn't really like how they handled that character. There's also kind of a savior moment in this movie. I think the movie took itself almost a little too seriously at times. It's hard to have all of these puns and Smurf puns and blue puns and these characters that are just kind of labels, and then you have this like savior moment character. Another miss that I had in it though is I didn't think that they have some pop songs mixed in there. I didn't think they worked at all. I didn't like them at all. It kind of took me out of the movie. And because I don't know, it's just, this is in a magical world. Like, I don't need a Meghan Trainor song, you know, thrown in there. And they even have a dance scene at the end, you know, which I just feel like almost all sort of Illumination and Sony and sort of like, we always have to end with this big dance scene. I don't know why. That's like an animation trope. But the celebrity voice talent, aside from Rainn Wilson, is so wasted in this movie. Like, we did not need to have Demi Lovato. We definitely didn't need Julia Roberts, who has very few lines. It's just a complete waste. I think kids will go to this movie and I think they will have a good time. They will like it. It's cute. It's pretty engaging, and the animation is just beautiful. A hard one to give a grade to because I do recognize its flaws in the writing, the story, and like some of the uncomfortable moments and some of the stuff where I felt like, yeah, it didn't really work. But I did walk away feeling entertained. I don't know. It's somewhere in between a C+ and a B-. It's in that range. But I liked it, so who cares what grade it is? So go and see it and let me know what you think. And let me know what your kids think. I'd be really curious. So thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you later. And have a Smurfy day.